Hi, thanks for checking out our channel. Here's going to be a possible repair video. This is a testing video, at least, on this Gallagher S10. It's a little small solar unit. It's a 0.1 stored joule, so not very powerful joule-wise, but for what it was designed to do, it did a good job. They sold it for, I don't know, 10 years, and it's now been discontinued about a year or two ago. And it came out with the S12 is what took its place, but we're gonna go through this unit, see if we can get it figured out and going. I don't know if we will be able to or not, but we'll find out here before too long. Now, the story on this one, the lady bought it at a sale for about 35 bucks. So she didn't have hardly any money into it. She wants to put it around her fruit trees to keep the critters off of it, which would do fine for something like that. Whoops. For something like that. This thing to stay where I want it. All right, there we go. Put a new battery in it, nothing. And she talked to me before she shipped it off. All right, so let's, it doesn't come on at all. I did do that much, and there's no green light, nothing on there. So let's pull this little screw out the back. Now, the S16 Gallagher and the S20 Gallagher are similar in nature to this one. There's they share same battery, same solar panel, just a different circuit board in it. All right, well, it's one reason why it won't come on. The battery's not plugged in. But that, whoa. In this particular model, the late 16 model, late 2016 model when this one was built. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to check my battery, put on DC volts. This is a 6-volt battery, so it should be over 6.1 volt. Well, that's one reason why it won't work. So let's we can see if I have another battery for it. If not, I got a power supply over here I can hook onto it. But let me look around, see if I got a new battery for one of these units. All right, got a new battery right there. So let's check it. It's been sitting for a little bit, not real long, but we'll check it real quick to see what it reads. 6.4 volts, so that battery's good. Now, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to do a reset on it. Because sometimes when these things get low batteries and issues, they are software-driven units, so they are pretty fancy for a little solar-powered fence charger. We're going to do a reset. And the way you do that, you turn it off, you lay it face down. That way you can block out the light on the solar panel, and then hold these two wires together, your battery wiring, and just hold it together for about I don't know, 30 seconds or so, just enough to, if there's any residual power in the board, this just drains all of it and gets it back to like a factory default kind of thing. So I'll hold it here a little longer. You want to make sure it's metal on metal. I don't know if some of these might have had a little cover, insulated cover over the terminal. If it does, you're going to have to get a wire in there or something to jumper the two together. Now let's try that. I don't know if that's long enough or not. So we'll put the positive on the positive, negative on the negative, to tighten those up a little loose. Now let's turn this around. Still nothing. Let's maybe there's a loose connection somewhere. We'll take this apart here in a second. Now, Gallagher doesn't make, unfortunately, never sold any boards for these things, so I guess they expected them to last forever. So that's why they didn't decide to offer any internal parts for them, which is kind of stupid. All right, we got 7 volts going to it. Let's turn it on. Now, there is a draw on my power supply, so it does know that there's something hooked up to it. So probably not a loose connection, probably just a faulty board. Just roll that forward, lift it up. There's the inside of it. Pretty fancy looking board. All this digital electronics on it, surface mount components galore. Got a conformal coating on there as well. I don't physically see anything bad with it, and the battery wire is right on, the solder straight to the board, so not like you can get a loose connection. Same with the solar panel wires, it's got the wires built right, soldered right to the board as well. Let's hook this back up, and we'll just test and make sure we're getting power to the board. So we're gonna, there is a conformal coating on there, so we may not be able to get a reading unless we scratch and gouge into it. Okay, it's not reading it. Let's see. Okay, scratch that one. Alright, let's see now. There it is. So now we're getting power to the board. So we know it was probably doing it before, but anyways, I couldn't get my meter to read it because there's that conformal coating on there, and it kind of puts a barrier on the board. One other thing we could check is there is a magnet behind this little orange thing, because this is not a physical contact switch to the board. It has a little magnet, really strong magnet, the size of a pencil eraser, and through induction and magic, the magnet talks to the circuit board and tells it when to turn on, when to turn off, that sort of thing. So, but it's really hard to get that out of there without boogering the thing up. So you're gonna find a small flat screwdriver and so pop that out of there. Earlier ones were a little bit easier to get open on here, and later on I think they glued these in, so we may not be able to get that out of there. Let's just drill a really small hole. And switch another magnet's up top. So let's drill a hole down here at the bottom. So you can screwdriver in there, pop that out of there. No, it's not wanting to come out without breaking something. So the magnet is probably most likely in there, and this is actually glued in place. I was afraid of that because I'm trying to pop it out of there, and it's not wanting to get. So they probably got it super glued or epoxied into there. Because the earlier ones that didn't have that, and occasionally that little orange thing would fall out, get bumped around shipping or back to your truck or whatever, and that orange thing would pop out of there and the magnet would fall out, and you're like, no, what the hell do I do now? You can get the magnets for it still, but that is very uncommon to have that fall out now. So unfortunately, I think we're going to be at a loss to get this going, because it's most likely a problem in this fancy electronics somewhere, and you can't buy new boards for. Luckily, the lady didn't have a whole lot of money tied up in it. She got a $35 for this unit at a sale, paid probably $10, $15 for a battery, and so she got what, 45, 50 bucks in it, and it's money down the drain, I guess, but at least she can buy a new unit of some sort and get yourself up and running. So I kind of struck it on this deal, but it was worth a shot to try. Never turn anything down. If it can be taken apart, we'll sure try to work on it. If Gallagher offered a new board for this wouldn't be a throwaway unit. We could fix it and get the customer back up and running, but they chose not to offer parts for these particular units. The S10, S16, and even the S20. That's $265 for a new one. They don't offer boards for that thing, so that's unfortunate. Stupid idea. But anyways, until next time, see you guys later on. Have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you later on.